Good evening, guys. This is Empress Jackrabbit,
Tori Boo 151.
and this is our first recording of our new channel, which is the Vegas Vegan Weight Loss.
Yep.
We decided to put this channel up so that we can record ourselves and our journey, which is interesting because we started wanting to do 365 channels. If you look at my other channel, or 365 days recording.
Mm-hmm.
And we got up to about 3 or 4 days. We're kind of down now to about 2 days or so because some of our shows are off and things. But we're still there. But in the midst of all this change or all this filming, reality started to set in, and we wanted to share this journey with you.
Yeah.
And this is our weight gain and weight loss journey, and what got us to starting on this program. When we left Las Vegas, we were fit and trim, and I'm 55, and I had a flat stomach and everything else, arms tight, body type tight, everything. And I felt great, and I just sort of took it for granted. I used to even say that there's no way that I could ever get big. I'm 50 plus years old. My time for gaining weight is over. Mm-hmm. So I thought. And I got here to Muskegon, Michigan. And it is a very poor town. It is very, very small. It is very ignorant in terms of lack of education, lack of knowledge. There really isn't anything to do. Like if you thought, I'm going to go hang out at the club, there isn't one. Excuse me, guys, if I'm going to go and, I don't know, to the art museum, there isn't one. No. So it cut our choices down, as well as it would seem our eating choices. We always like to eat out at least once or twice a week. And we had Applebee's, Chili's, various burger places, and a couple of mom and pop places. And basically that was it. And so we started going around to those, and we never really went to those places to begin with. We ate out, but we went to different places. Living in Vegas, you have such a wide variety of things that you can have. Mm-hmm. Even living in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, you've got a wide variety of foods you can have, and a lot of different cultures there. So a lot of different types of food. Anyways, our life seemed to grind to a stop. I could not find a teaching job here. They had a few elementaries, a couple of high schools, Catholic couple, or I should say Christian, and a couple public high schools, middle school, high schools. And I think there was like a total of 5, and I put my resume in, and nobody would bite. But yet everything here is really expensive. Like car insurance, if you look it up, Michigan is one of the highest places for car insurance. It was sky high. Getting my teacher license here was going to cost me $250, and it was incredible. So I ended up finding a teaching job actually with the license that I had, and it was working through a Title I program. So I was online. So I was at home and I was sitting. Then we had in a short summer, lots of rain and snow. Like the first year that we were here, we've been here almost 2 years. It was amazing. It was beyond belief. The snow was so high. We have a deck, and you couldn't go out the slider, the patio door. But even if you walked up the steps, you couldn't have walked through it. The snow was so high.
Right.
And that kept us more and more housebound. And I had my daughter Camille was in homeschool. Toriana was homeschooled. I'm teaching homeschool with them as well as working at home. So I was doing a lot of sitting. And then we got into a habit of going to the grocery store all the time. And we were buying great big chunks of meat, weren't we?
Yeah.
Big hams and prime ribs, big roast, 1 or 2 chickens we would cook, veggies on the side. But as time went on, we were doing less and less veggies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mashed potatoes or polenta or rice or something like that. Lots of sandwiches. We would get tons of lunch meat and cheeses galore, hard crusty rolls, and make these jumbo subs ourselves that you could just pack on everything. It was a double, triple sub.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time, I don't know, December got here, I was trying to put something on, and it was not some pants on. They were not going to button. It just wasn't going to happen. And usually I got into the habit of wearing sweatpants. So I was like, oh, well, I'll wear these pants. I think I was taking somebody to the doctor, dentist, or whatever, and I could not get into the pants at all. And I started telling my husband, you know what? I need a treadmill. The area that we live in is mostly abandoned houses, believe it or not, and they have lots of rodents, varmints, whatever you want to call them, from possums to skunks to squirrels to mice, rats, whatever, living in these places. Not to mention druggies or gangs. They're not one and the same, but you know. Mm. Anyways, so I nagged him to get me a treadmill. And he did, and we started working on a treadmill. Now, we started off and it was really hard, right?
Yeah.
But then our stamina started to increase, and we were doing better and better, and we could stay on there longer, and we started running and stuff. But one thing that we didn't see was any of our weight dropping and melting off. And we had gotten it like in February. So I was good. In April, I had to go to my doctor. I had one scheduled in December, and they said, don't come back until April. So I'm like, okay. I get to the doctor's office, and they weigh me, and I weighed 205 pounds. Never in my life have I weighed that much. And probably some of you weigh more than that or just less than that. But when you take a drastic weight gain like that, it's a shock. When I went in December, I was like 180 something, and now here it is April, I'm 205 pounds. And there just was no excuse for it. I was doing a lot of napping, treadmill or nap, lots of sitting with schoolwork and working, and it was just a real sedentary life. And I was on blood pressure medication, 3 blood pressure medications. And they were saying to me in December, they had to check my blood again. My cholesterol wasn't up, but I could be pre-diabetic. So to keep me from going to that, they had me come to a nutrition class. But it didn't really matter to me. It really didn't. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was just that it seemed like work. You know, I got to change what I eat. And then I started at the end of April. I don't know. After I went to the doctor that visit, I knew something was going to have to change, because all I was going to do was just continue to sit and gain. Because when you get older, sometimes it's easier to put on weight, as I found out, and a lot harder to take it off. And I started watching videos on people that gained weight, and that kind of went to people that were eating, had heavy meat diets, and and it was me. Plain and simple, heavy meat diets, very low vegetables and fruit. We got to the point where we didn't even buy fruit. You know what I mean? Every now and then some apples, every now and then some oranges, but we really did not buy fruit, and veggies were gone too. We had frozen veggies in the fridge, and we were too lazy to even heat those up.
Right.
And as I watched these videos, I was really getting informed on the meat industry and how they treat animals or slaughter animals or infuse them with steroids to make them bigger. And you're thinking about, okay, for example, chicken, they put it in and make it bigger. And then my kid would eat a chicken sandwich at McDonald's or at their school, and I'm wondering why they're getting bigger. And then finally, one day, my 14-year-old who had this growth spurt, and she had gotten really tall and slim. And one day I was looking at her sitting on the couch, and her stomach had gotten so big. She was sitting and kind of sitting up forward, and her stomach had gotten so large, and it was just unbelievable. And at that point, I said, you know what, something has got to change. And I started looking into eating a vegan lifestyle. And vegan is you eat primarily fruits, vegetables, and that's really just going raw. But you also, if you don't want to go completely raw, you can eat like brown rice or quinoa, exactly, oats, that type of thing as well. And we started going through that, and everything started changing quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your story?
My story, I started noticing that I gained weight after I came home. I did a stint at a university. I lived on campus. And even though I was going to the gym and stuff, like once or twice a week, I was still not seeing any improvements. And I came home, and my mother was noticing too. And two, we also noticed my health because I'm an epileptic. So we were noticing more that I was having absent seizures. And come to find out it was sleep deprivation because I wasn't sleeping on a regular schedule. So I started on medication on that as well. But with the weight, I saw my thighs getting bigger. My stomach was getting bigger. My arms used to be like super toned. I was starting to see like underneath them were starting to get like soft or kind of flabby. I didn't like it, and my mother would be telling me about doctor visits or weight gain and stuff like that, and I saw weight gain myself too. Like my last weigh-in, I was like 171, I think, and that's the highest I've ever been. So that was scary. It was scary to me. And she showed me the documentary that she watched, and it scared me. They were treating these animals like nothing, throwing them around and stuffing them with things and slaughtering them like it's nothing. It was just okay. And it wasn't at all. So I was totally with it when we talked about going vegan. I was like, okay, we can do this. And we did go with the expectation like, oh, it's going to be hard. But it wasn't. It really wasn't that hard.
Because prior to that, we really ate a lot of veggies.
Yeah, we did. We ate a lot of veggies and stuff like that. And like what you said, that we did just like for a stint. It was like we weren't eating many fruits and veggies, but coming back to it was pretty much easy. Now we're treadmilling regularly. We're eating our fruits and our vegetables primarily. No meats. And we're happy. We are seeing significant weight loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we eat no meats. We eat no dairy products. That includes eggs as well, butter, cheese, cream cheese, whatever. And we have started to see significant changes. The first couple of weeks, all of a sudden, I was down in size. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you're down in size, you usually have lost 10 to 20 pounds. And I was down a whole dress size in that short amount of time. Mm-hmm. We've just started it really good. We are at the very beginning of this journey. And so what we want you to do is to take the journey with us. You don't have to become a vegan, or you might want to be a vegetarian. But what we found is that if you're eating whole plants, you're getting your proteins. Yeah. If you're concerned about if you're getting adequate diet or are you going to live, yes, you're going to live. Yeah. And there's a lot of books and videos, YouTubes out there about vegans and what they eat, mm-hmm. and which will include that also in a future date. What is it that we eat? Mm-hmm. You're going to be surprised how much you can eat, really, as well as how you'll feel very full and sustained. Mm-hmm. So say, for example, if you had your dinner and then a couple of hours later you'd be hungry, which you could be because it's fruits and vegetables, which are water soluble. They run right through you. Mm-hmm. It's fine to have something else, some other fruit, some other vegetable if you mm-hmm. feel the need for it. One little side note I'm going to mention is that when you change your diet completely, I wouldn't jump into it gung ho.
Yeah.
Because you'll find that it changes your intestinal tract. You have a real detox, meaning you're going to have lots of bowel movements, softer, not all out diarrhea, but softer bowel movements, and your body is detoxing from all the meats or the sugars and all that stuff that you're filling it up with.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we steer clear of is sugars.
Yeah.
It was interesting that they said sugar can do more for you than cocaine does.
Yeah, it was 8 times more addictive.
It was 8 times more addictive than the drug cocaine. And we all know that because at some point we want something sweet to eat, even if it's a piece of gum, and you got to let it go. But we're going to take you on this journey that's going to include pictures of us as we go down. We try to take pictures weekly so that we can see rather than depend on the numbers on the scale.
Right.
Because the pictures tell the real story. And let you know how we're feeling. I can tell you that I feel much more energized. I don't feel so lethargic. I feel happier. It feels like my mind is clearer and sharper. Maybe that's in my imagination, but I really don't think so. Also, my youngest daughter, who was having skin issues with acne, that's getting better and better in incredible ways. It's like she was, before she almost like she had a mask on, a mask on her skin. It lacked any shine, and not anymore. She looks like a bright, shiny little girl.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyways, come take the journey with us.
Definitely.
And if you like this video, subscribe.
Thumbs up.
And leave a comment for us. But come and take the ride with us as we journey through our actual road trip, or what is life like in Vegas as a vegan. And are we sticking to it? Trust me, you will have your ups and downs, or you will sometimes have your cravings. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just get back up on that wagon and start again.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thanks so much for listening. And have a great day.